What if I told you most DTC brands are paying 10 times more than what they need to when it comes to branded search for clicks that you're gonna get anyway? Stick around because I'll show you how to reduce that spend without sacrificing conversions. And before I explain all these things, let me just show you a couple of times where we've actually done that. So here's a recent example where we pulled keywords out into a new campaign. And you can see pretty much when that happened, we went from a cost per conversion of 33.21 up to 56, down to a steady $6. And you can see in the first week where we actually make the change, we get more conversions. Then it goes down a little bit. But again, it's not because we haven't been down at the 22 conversions a week level before. This is just seasonality in terms of this particular business. If we take another one, you can see again here, when were we spending? We were spending 3,000, 2,500, 2,500 per week. And I drop it. I drop the CPCs. We go down to 118 kroner, 280 kroner, 300 kroner. But again, we don't drop in clicks. This drop in clicks here was solely just because of seasonality. As you can see, we're growing again once we start going up. Problem is, all of us think that you need to defend your branded traffic, right? If you're running search or shopping ads, you want to make sure anyone searching for your brand name ends up on your site. That seems pretty obvious, but that mindset gets expensive really fast if you don't understand which group of brand you fall into and you don't know how to manage the bids properly in Google Ads. But let's start with the grouping. There are two different groups. One is no outside distribution, meaning you're not selling on marketplaces that are bidding for your brand term. You're not selling wholesale to other advertisers who will be bidding for your brand term. You are the only seller, and your job is simply just to defend your position against competitors who are not selling the same product. The second group is all the ones with outside distribution. Now you're all of a sudden competing with other people selling your own product and competitors. But again, I've seen a 10x difference in CPCs just by managing it wrong. So if you have no outside distribution, that's what I showed you before. Both of those examples, we have absolutely no competitors. After switching to manual bids, the cost per conversion dropped by 10x. Or in the other example, the first example I had was where we divided the campaign branded keywords into its own campaign and ran manual bids. Everything also just performed much better. However, if you have outside distribution, then you are actively competing with retailers or marketplaces that are selling the same stuff that you are, and then you're in a bidding war for traffic that you've partly created. And yes, you want to convert that traffic on your own site. That's why we all do DTC. But if you're not strategic, you're just bidding against yourself for no reason. And that's because smart bidding isn't built for branded traffic. The problems arise is that one, smart bidding maximizes for volume, not for efficiency. And two, even with a high ROAS target, smart bidding won't minimize spend if it can get more conversions or more of the same conversions or more exposure at a lower efficiency. It will bid to that ROAS target that you set. So for branded search, we want to do four things. There's one simple structure. We want to use manual bids. The only other option you have than using manual bids is use target impression share, but don't set it to 100% and use max CPCs. That gives you a limit to how it's supposed to be, but again, you have to manage it. The second thing is that when you use manual bids, then you get direct control, which means you have easy optimization. Which comes from the third thing is that we can test. For instance, we've seen scenarios where clicks remain stable while CPCs drop by half or 10x, and that's the ideal scenario. Like I started this video showing, it's actually doable. But if you lower your bids and in the experiment you see that your clicks drop or your conversions drop, then you've gotten below the minimum bidding threshold against competitors and you just bid back up. But way too many of you out there are never ever testing this. So this is what we see on branded search. Test it. For branded shopping and the optimal bidding structure there, it gets a little bit more complicated. One, if you have a few products, then manual bidding will still work. But two, if you have thousands of products, consider smart bidding with strict controls like max CPCs or very high ROAS targets, because you will constantly have to figure out, okay, what should this bid be for this product? And that, I'll just say right now, unless you already know what you're doing, you can't run manual bids like that anymore. Very few people have the skill set to do that, so you're gonna mess up. And that's where smart bidding is better, because otherwise you'll end up ruining performance because you're sending too much traffic to low selling products. The only thing is that when we use smart bidding for standard shopping, and this is point number 3, then you still want those performance parameters. You still want to put in a max CPC. You still want to run a very high ROAS target because it applies to branded shopping too. But the only thing is that branded shopping is different from search in terms of just a lot of products. Before you start adjusting your bids, you want to understand what the danger zones are. So I just want to gut check a couple of numbers that you can go into your account and say if you're spending too much. And again, these aren't hard rules, but in most cases, if you're outside of these ranges, then you are overspending. So the number one red flag to look at is if you're spending more than 10% of your overall ad budget on your brand. That's a huge red flag. That's a problem. The second thing is that if your branded ROAS is less than 2 times of your generic ROAS, then it's another red flag. So if your generic ROAS is 500% and your branded ROAS is 800%, either you're bidding too aggressive for your brand, or you're not aggressive enough on generic, and that's a problem. So those are the two main ones to look at. And you can also look at it like if you have 100% ROAS on generic and your ROAS on your brand is like 5x, it's also a problem. Normally your ROAS on your brand, especially in search, want to be at least 8 to 10x and probably 20, 30, 40x. Again, some industries are outliers. I've seen the mattress industry, especially in the US, just be absolutely insane. But 9 times out of 10, these numbers should hold up. So now you're probably thinking, okay, great, we've gone through some of these things, but how do I know for sure if I am overpaying? And again, there's no magic formula. The only way to test this properly is to run an experiment in Google Ads. So the way to run a test in Google Ads with this is using the experiment function, where we're going to go in, we're going to set the lower or higher a bid, we're going to track the impact, conversions versus savings, and then we're going to rinse and repeat and really dial in the bid. So let me just show you how to do that. So go to campaigns, click on experiments, we click up here, we click something else, we click on search, then we say brand bid, lower, we select the base campaign, save and continue. Then it will ask us to what changes do we want. We don't want to see those two campaigns. We just want to see the campaign that we're going to change. We go into this one. I go in on the keyword level. And now we change the bids. Change max CPCs to, we try just to put it down to 0.75. Reply. We wait because Google Ads is slow. We click on schedule, go in and we say what we want to track is we want a number of clicks. We want there to be no significant change. And then we want the cost to decrease. That's what we're looking for here because we're lowering the bids. You can change the experiment split. I like 50-50 because this is not a big change. Duration, just let it stand set on what it is. You want to enable sync. So if you change any ads in the original, it also goes over. If you add keywords, it also goes over. And that's basically it. Click create experiment. I've already created one for another video I did around this. So, but again, you create experiment and then you launch the experiment. And that's it. Testing here is key because branded search can look like it performs well at almost any bid. You can have 8x, 10x, 15x, and it looks really, really good. But you don't realize how cheap those conversions could actually be. And the bigger brand you are, you can have a significant spend in it. All right, let's now say that the numbers tell you that you're overspending. You've lowered the bids and you're kind of going, okay, I'm losing conversions when I do it. What else can you do? Okay, there's 2 other ways to lower your brand spend without changing your bids, without changing anything in the account. The first one is try to avoid paying. Like if a few competitors are bidding for your brand, reach out to them. Most business owners don't want to waste money on a click war. So reach out to them, use your agency. A lot of people use me in Savvy and they reach out and say, hey, I will reach out to the PPC manager that I might know already, or I know the owner over there, and we can all hook up together and we can say, okay, let's just avoid bidding on each other's keywords. This is a much bigger thing in Europe than in the US. In the US, most people don't want to do this, but in Europe, it's still possible to do these gentlemen's agreements. No comments on culture there. For distributors like wholesale and stuff like that, it's a little bit more delicate. It's still worth trying. There are some rules in Europe that says that you can't do this, but you can reach out to a distributor and say, hey, I don't want you to bid for a brand term. Some are more than happy to oblige. And the second thing is, when you look at all this, and a lot of, especially owners will fall trap to this, is don't be number one. Like, I know this is a little bit of an account thing, but I have a lot of conversations about this with brand owners where someone say, you don't need to be in a position 1 for your own brand. If you drop from 99% top impression share to 95%, and you save 50% on your CPCs, you might look at it like, oh my God, we're not number 1, we're number 2, 3, or 4 when somebody searches for a brand. But if you save 50% on your CPCs and you lose 5%, 10%, 15% of your conversions, that is a win. Because overbidding on your name is like giving Google a free tax. The only ones benefiting are your competitors. 4 takeaways from today. 1. 10x cost difference on branded search is real. Don't assume smart bidding is the best way or is the cheapest way to actually run your bidding for a brand term, even though it is the best way to run bidding generally in an account. Number 2, if you compete with your distributors for your brand term, then treat your brand terms more like a generic keyword, albeit it is very low funnel. The third thing is, remember, use the experiment feature in Google Ads to A/B test your bids. That's the only way to know your optimal brand spend. And 4, repeat those experiments 2 times per year or whenever auction insights shift, meaning you get a lot of new competitors, you've added new wholesalers, etc. Actions from here is start the experiment. Fastest way to get real data to really A/B test what happens when you try to lower or increase your bid. Try to pull your brand performance and ask yourself, am I overpaying against the benchmarks that I put up earlier in this video? And if you already know the answer, just go out, lower your bids and watch what happens. That was it for me today. I swear most people are paying way too much for their brand terms. So try to take a look in your account and see what you find. Any questions, any insights, put them in the comment section and I'm here to answer all of them. There'll be a new video out next week. If you're into practical PPC insights that you can actually help you, then subscribe. I share tips, breakdowns, and call out what's working and what's not. No fluff, just the stuff that you can use every single week.